Hello, I'm Edward Eastburn. I'm making this video as an addition to my Cloudy Night Forums post about using the USConverter's Wi-Fi adapter to run my Celestron Nexstar GPS using iPhone with Sky Safari 5.0. To this point, I can say that it successfully works, and it is a nice alternative, especially price-wise, to the 100-plus Wi-Fi adapters that other companies are selling. As I mentioned in my post, USConverters in their publications stated that the Wi-Fi adapter comes already pre-configured to work with almost all astronomical programs. And I found that to be true. You don't have to go in and do any settings. It has a number of ways of providing power to the Wi-Fi adapter. In this case, I am running the Wi-Fi adapter off of the power unit built into the Celestron telescope and using the USConverter supplied micro DC plug to provide power to the Wi-Fi adapter. Works very well. It does take a little bit of soldering and working with some shrink wrap, as you saw in my post, to get it all nice and neat, but it works. As you probably realize, you have to connect the Wi-Fi adapter to the bottom of the hand control unit. Now, Celestron does supply a DB9 adapter. It's just a basic DB9 serial plug to do this. The problem that I saw with it is that this unit, the DB9 adapter, it is a female, and the USConverter is also a female. So you have to use the supplied gender changer that came with the adapter, the Wi-Fi adapter, to do that. But I don't like that because I found that every time you stick yet another connection in, there's that likelihood of something going wrong, especially with wireless connections. So what I did was I just checked the pin settings from using the gender to the little RJ11 4-pin adapter to find out which pins went where, and then I built my own serial adapter here by just going to the store, local computer store, getting a serial cable that had a male end on it, and in this case it was a 6-foot length, so I just cut it in half, found the pin, the wires that I needed to the correct pins, and since I have done work in putting together network cables in the past, I already had a tool to splice the RJ11 plug onto the end and then hooked it up to the telescope. So I'm going to show that everything does work, again using the serial cable that I built to the USConverter Wi-Fi adapter. I'll give you some close-up images here of that and then show you how everything works. Currently I just made a make-believe alignment on Venus using the Celestron just to kind of quickly get things going and to show that everything does work. So let me show you the adapter and how it's plugged in and connected. Okay, so here you can see the USConverter's Wi-Fi adapter hooked up and powered up. Here's what it looks like from the top. Connected to it right now is the DB9 male-in serial cable. You can see the right here, the DC micro plug plugged into the adapter where it's getting its power. And I'm going to close in real close, get a close in here. You can see that the switch setting is DTE. That's very important because if it's not in that position, you'll not make a connection using your smartphone or laptop, whichever you're using. If you follow the cabling around here, you can see the power cable comes around here. It's kind of a holdover from when I was using a Bluetooth adapter, and it's plugged into the 12-volt output built right into the telescope itself. Then if we follow the serial cable around, it comes around here over to the hand controller, back off a little bit so you can see that. I currently did a make-believe alignment on Venus, so it's sitting here waiting for command to do something. And I'm going to show you the bottom end where it plugs in. You can see right there, the serial cable plugged into the bottom of the hand control unit. So there it is, all set and ready to go. So next we'll switch over to the iPhone 5S I'm using and how everything is connected, set up there, and show it actually running the telescope. Okay, here we are with my iPhone 5S. I'm in the settings area, Wi-Fi, showing that I have already made a connection with the USConverter adapter. It shows up as serial 2 Wi-Fi _95 _80. So if we go to here, we can show you the settings for it. Okay, so here's the IP address that you need for Sky Safari. But something interesting. The setting is 192.168.10.2. When I put that into Sky Safari, I couldn't make a connection. And I couldn't figure out why, but I did notice that it had a router number here, 192.168.10.1. So I tried that, and with that one, it worked. So I don't know why there's the disconnect in the literature as to the IP address versus the router, but there is. Maybe someone who's smarter with networking systems couldn't explain that. Alright, so from here we're going to go over to Sky Safari. Alright. So here we are on Sky Safari. I'm going to go to Settings and on to the Telescope Setup. So you can see that the scope type is the Celestron Nexstar. I'm pretty close and trying to get the, there you go, Celestron Nexstar GPS. And the mount type is the Alter Azimuth Go-To. And if we scroll down a little further, here you see the IP address. And there you can see that router number I used, the 10.1. And you also have to give it the port number, which comes from the USConverter literature, which is 8080. So with that, everything's set. So we're going to go over here and hit the connect button. There you go. We can see that it's connected and it's set up, showing alignment on Venus. Kind of hard to see there, but that's where it is. So I'm going to put the camera back onto the telescope and show you me manipulating the telescope wirelessly through the iPhone 5S using Sky Safari 5. Specifically, this is 5 Pro. Alright, so back to the telescope. Everything is aligned, set. We have the connection in Sky Safari 5 Pro. I've picked Vega as my next target, so all I have to do is find Vega on Sky Safari, zoom in enough so I can target it, and then I'm going to hit Go To now. And I'm going to move the camera over here as we get closer so you can hopefully see the bullseye centering up on Vega there. And there we are. A successful Go To. I'm going to try something else next. This time we're going to try going to M13. And just to show you on the iPhone that yes, we made a successful Go To M13, the Hercules cluster. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the telescope being manipulated by this rather inexpensive Wi-Fi adapter. If you had any doubts as to whether it works like I did, it does. It works perfectly, and not a lot of work to do it, and it's definitely a savings. So it's something for you to consider if you've been wanting to go to a wireless system to run your telescope, either with an iPhone or iPad or one of the Android units. You can do that. With the Android, you just have to be mindful that they cannot out of the box connect to an ad hoc network. Sky Safari 5 in their literature is sure to point that out in several places. But with a little bit of manipulation, it can be done. USConverters has literature that shows how to do that using a tablet or phone for using the Android system. So there is that option for those units as well. But I happen to have the iPhone 5S, works just fine. So I'm going to be posting this video linked in the Cloudy Nights forum, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to post and ask there, and I'll try my best to answer it. Thank you, and happy sky observing to you.